Okay, so in the mock example, I've been asked to design an application that allows me to take note of the weight of different sweets. I should be able to take note of this weight, the measurement of that they're getting weighed in, and the brand. Okay, you should be able to store this in a table of information. Okay, so very similar to what you're being asked to do, right? The inputs are slightly different, but nothing drastic. Okay. Okay, so we've got this example here, and the first thing I would do in this case, if I was building a website, I would start knocking about ideas. I would think about color schemes and stuff like that in this as well. Okay, but I'm not going to go into too much into that today. But I'll kind of touch on it. All right. So if I was to make we call it storyboards in web design, okay, and you look at what sort of fonts, what sort of colors, and maybe more importantly your layout, is what you're going to look for, okay. So what I like using, I used to use Fireworks for this, but Draw.io is actually pretty good. It's got quite a easy learning curve. So what I'm going to do is create a new diagram, and you'll see, by the way, see if you're ever doing software design, you've got really good flowcharts and stuff like that in here that you can use for different stuff, networking diagrams as well. Okay, loads of different stuff. You've got wireframes that lay stuff out. I'm just going to choose basic and go from the top. Okay, so this is my screen. Now I'm designing this for a mobile app. What I could do in here is I could search and just say, I'll just go Android. Okay, and what you'll see there is you've got a wee outline of a phone right away, which is quite cool. So I'm just going to drag that onto my screen, like so. And what you can do is you can go in and put a fill on it. Just colours in the background and stuff like that, so you can muck out with that. What I would do, I'm just going to give this a wee heading. If I double tap up here, I can just give it a heading and just say Sweet Project. And double click, and then you can see you can change the font up here. Verdana. And okay. Oops. To them. Alright, I'll stick that there. Put your name on it. Now, I'm probably going to have a bit more detail than need be at this, but I don't think it does any harm. Okay, so you can move this about. Now, on the left-hand side, this will be quite a visual layout of how it's going to look. If you prefer to do this pen and paper, by the way, you can. Right, the reason I do it like this is quicker to edit it. So say you've done it in pen and paper, and also I can draw. But if you do this in pen and paper, you can then go back and change it quite quickly. Okay, so I'm going to choose a colour scheme for this. All right. I don't know if you've all seen this before. I'm going to go to a website called Cooler. And go on here. And you can choose different colour schemes. You can search through Cooler as well, sign in, get an Adobe account with it. And it's quite a cool wee site. So you can go in here and choose your different colour schemes. Okay. You've got analog colour schemes, monochrome. Be a bit dull for it. So add. And just mess about until you get something you like. And I'll go with something like that. Now, one of the good things is that you, if you're trying to describe colours, it can be quite difficult. But if you scroll down, you'll see you've got your hex codes noted down there. Okay. So what I would actually do with this, if I was doing this for a client, I would use my snipping tool here. And just get a new snip and take it that there. Now, I think I might be able to copy this straight in. I'll see if I've copied it. I'll try it. I think I might have to upload the file. So what I'll do with that file there is I will just save it as okay. So I'll just stick it in there. And also then what I'm looking for, probably more importantly actually, is the hex codes. So I'm just going to take my hex codes and copy them. Okay. See if you sign up for a cooler account, you can actually export it as all in one. Aye, it's free. This site, this was kind of, I don't know who ran it before, but Adobe liked it so much they just went and bought it. So, what's that? You can create hyperlinks in it, but it's not. It wouldn't be something I would prototype in, to be honest with you. So what I would do is organise this a wee bit, get it in line. Okay. And I'll just stick this over here. Give a wee head and hex codes. And move it down here. Okay. And I'll keep them there. I can tidy that up, make it look a bit nicer later on. Okay. So what I've decided in this project, what I want is I've got to be able to put in the weight of the sweets and also with a drop down menu. All right. So again, I've not used this in a wee while, but let's have a look and see. I'll put in text box, and you'll see you get samples of text boxes coming up, and you can go on and have a wee look. That's not what I'm looking for. I'll go for Android form. See what I've got there. I don't really see anything great. That's more like it there. So I've got a password fields, a combination box. I'll get more results out of that. Search box. Formatting toolbar, give it a button. I'll drag that and manipulate it actually. Spinner, combo box. You could die. What I'll do is I'll just take the content out. Now, in Android, what you can do is you can use a placeholder. It saves room on the screen, so I could just put in weight or quantity for my sweets. Okay, and what I could do then, I'll move that across a wee bit, and I'll just duplicate that. Maybe a drop down box. So I want to be able to say the weight of it as well. So again, I'll have a wee combo box. We'll do the fine there. Bring that in. Okay. And in there, I could just put in grams as an example, but you could choose kilograms, grams, whatever it be. All right. Go up here, and I'll just put in sweets. Drag it up there. Okay. So what else does this have to do? Well, I need to be able to put in the name of the sweet as well, don't I? So it might make more sense for that to be up at the top. Yeah, I think so. So I'll just highlight them, drag them down. I'll get right click on that, duplicate it, and bring it up. Drag it across like that. Okay, and in here I will then say name. Now you could use labels in this and have the text beside it, but there's no need for it, right? Because once somebody clicks on the box and starts typing in the name, then they know what they're typing in anyway. Next thing I want is a button. Let's see, I'll just put the button. Okay, not great. Again, you can take a bit more text time than me when you're doing it. There. So I went for the large button, alright? And what I would do in the write-up would just say I've justified that by making it very easy to use, okay? So, and then you can double click on that and just say submit. Okay. So that could be the first screen of the application. Right? It's quite simple and straightforward. I'm going to show you how you save it. So I saved this twice, right? Do one save and one export. The reason being, if you save it as an XML document to your device, and I come back to you and say I want you to change this, you can just open up the XML document and change it very easily. If you only save it or export it as a PNG file or a PDF file, then you're stuck with the one screen, and you have to then rebuild the whole thing. So I'll go to File and Save As, and I'll just call it a Sweet Screen 1. Save it to my device, alright? You'll see it downloads down the bottom corner down here, showing the folder. And just make sure you know you're saving it. It goes into downloads by default, alright? I'll come back to that in a wee second. What you can do with the colours as well, you can start mucking about with your colour scheme. So I can't even remember the colours I picked, to be honest with you, but so I'm just going to highlight that hex code, click on the button, double click the fill, and type in that colour there, and apply. Now, the background of this, let me see. Might have to put a shape in here. So what I could do is just get a rectangle tool. And obviously that overrides that, which I don't want. Right click on it and send to black, and it sits in there. Okay, but before I do that, I'm just going to change the colour. Okay, and background colour. Try it again. And send it back. Okay. So again, what I would probably do is maybe use some of the other colours up here as a nicer head. Alright. And I can put a different font in there and so on. Okay, just style it a bit nicer. So that's the first screen. Again, I'll go and File, Save As. Save it device. Saves it a different version. And also I'm going to go to File and Export As. And I'll export, you can do it as an SVG, an image. I'll do it as a PDF. Export it and download it, and it should come down here. This used to be funny software with this. That's it. So let's come out as a PDF. Now, what I would like you to do if you're thinking of doing it like this, you could give me a description in here of what all the various aspects of the screen do. You can come in and say, use some arrows, and you can say this here allows user to input, and then just say must be numeric, something like that. Okay. And if you do see, the more work you put into this stuff just now, the easier it gets later on, right? And bear in mind, you're doing everything for a reason, right? There's a reason the button's big. There's a reason that the name's at the top. There's always a logic to it, right? Because you would say, well, the name's the most important thing. You put that in first, and you know what you're weighing, and you know what you're putting in. Okay, so we can do that. Now, what I would then do is I might want to have a menu screen coming across, which I do, by the way. And this would be the home screen, right? So I could just put a wee title in here, saying this is, I'll call this the index. I'll use Gmail. Okay. And in here, you might want a menu that sweeps across your screen. Now, I'm just going to change the colour of that. Again, I don't know what colour it's going to be, but you can spend a wee bit more time on it than I'm doing. I've used that one. Let's see. Okay, and what I could have in here, well, I'll tidy it up a wee bit because it's a bit messy. Again, you can spend more time on that than I've got sitting in front of you, alright? And what you could put in here is put in some hyperlinks, so I could put in list. I'll search for that, see what I get. Go for Android again. Try list. It's not quite what I'm looking for, to be honest with you. If I had a bit more time, but you could drag. Nah, that's not it. That's not it. Let's try links. If I don't find it here, I will move on. Nah. There will be stuff in here somewhere. Okay, so what I want in here though, I want the hyperlinks. Now, this is going to be a 2-page app I'm making, right? So I'm going to have a link for home, and I'm going to have a link for, what do I call it? Measurements. Well, mine isn't passwords, of course, mine is sweets. So, what's that? Okay. Right, so that's 2 hyperlinks there. And again, I could save this as a different screen and put an arrow telling them that this is hyperlinks, right, to make it obvious. There's better ways of doing it than I've done it there, but I've just, time is against me. So there's 2 hyperlinks, and what I want to have here is, I do want a list. Let's continue. That's what I was looking for, isn't it? Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Okay, so home. I can just delete it out. Okay. And you could go and put stuff in there. Now that menu needs to be slid across from somewhere. Typically on an app, you've got a wee button that can bring it in from the top. I will drag that up there. I can get this one on that. That's all. Get the size. Okay, and you can just tell the user that toggles the menu. Now you might be sitting thinking, well, I don't know how to do that just now, but that's not really the point. Okay. Yeah. You could. That's your choice, alright. And then we can put it's a menu. What's that? What do you mean? No, no, I wouldn't bother with that. I wouldn't bother with that. Right, so we've got the screen sitting up there. It's not probably the colour scheme I would want, really, but as I say, I'm kind of rushing through this. So earlier on, I had saved the colour scheme. Print the suite project. I should be able to import that in. Import from device. Go in here. Many courses. That can sit there, so you can just drag that down like that. And you can see the colour scheme. On retrospect, it's a horrible colour scheme and I wouldn't want it to do it, but I've chosen it for the example, so we stick with it just now, alright? Let's see. I'll bring that down. I don't need that to such a size. Okay. So that's one screen done. Alright. The second screen's actually dead easy because it's just going to be a list with 3 headings. It's going to be suite name, weight, and measurement in this example. Right. So I'm not even going to bother showing you that. Do you understand where I'm going with that? Yeah. This should be available on the other page, and so should this. And it just makes for a nice, easy way of interaction. You never want your form button to be the only way of getting from one page to another. That means they always have to submit something new to see the measurements. So there'll be a flawed logic in that. Alright, so you always want an option of bringing the wee slider in. Alright, so that's how you create a storyboard. But try and think there's a thought behind everything you've done, right? I thought my colour scheme was nice, it's not. But there's a thought behind everything you've done here. You're trying to make it easy to use, you're trying to use familiar things. We might even try and make that with a wee thumb slide, whether or not we can or not. Well, we'll soon find out. Alright. Well, Android's got the nice thing of having the back button built in for you. But I mean, you could put something like that, and that's your choice, right? I'm not trying to tell you that this is the only way to build something. And hopefully, when I show you the jQuery stuff, A, I'll show you enough to think, well, I could do this, that, the next thing. And B, you can look at it and think, well, I want to do it this way, right? Because I'm not trying to make you do it the way I'm doing it. All right. So I will save that just now. So what I would like you to do, I see if you're building any more than 3 screens in this, you're doing too many. All right. Keep it simple and go with something like this. Now, as I say, if you want to go with pen and paper designing this, it's absolutely fine. Okay. What I'm going to do after, I'll give you some time to start designing, but I'm going to show you how you do the jQuery stuff as well. Get you signed up for Cloud9. All right.